Hello BookTube and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving middle school advice to any incoming 6th graders or anyone else because I started middle school when I was in 7th grade. But for anyone who's going to be going into middle school or going back to middle school, here is some tips and tricks to get you through the years. We're going to be covering 4 categories: academic, drama, social, and self-care. If you see me looking down at my phone, it's because I have my notes here. And let's just get started. First of all, middle school is the foundation of high school. Don't think that just because it's middle school you can slack off, because it's really not true. Like, you'll see a ton of kids doing it. No one's gonna turn in their assignments on time. Everyone's gonna just guess on the test. Don't be one of them, because when they get to high school, it's gonna be a reality check when they want to actually get good grades and start trying, because they're not gonna know how to get good grades because they didn't practice in middle school. This goes into kind of having study habits and stuff. Don't procrastinate. I procrastinate all the time. Don't be me. You're gonna have to do the assignments either way. Even if they're late, you're gonna have to do it. Maybe some schools, they'll just give you an automatic 0, which is even worse. But either way, you're gonna have to, if you want the grade, you're gonna have to do the work, whether it be last minute or not. So if you can turn it in last minute and get full credit, I mean, you could do that, but it's going to be super stressful and no one wants stress. As soon as you get your assignment, start working on it. That can be in class or as soon as you get out of that class. So if you're on break or something and you have nothing to do, or your friends are absent that day, start working on it. Just start. Don't even get that far and just start, because starting is the hardest part. So like, read through the directions and read the directions. That's another point. Read directions, because I have seen so many of my classmates fail an assignment because they didn't read the directions. Going back to the whole study habits thing, studying is not always necessary. Now take this with a grain of salt, because I don't know what school you go to and they might demand more. I went to a private school for middle school personally, and the demand was pretty high academically, but I personally didn't need to study for every test or quiz that I was given, because we did a lot of the work in class, so studying at home wasn't always necessary for me. But if you struggle with a certain subject, please study. But if you know yourself and you know that you could do well without studying, it's not 100% necessary, although it's recommended for most people. If you know that you know all of the information really well, and if you go over it, it's going to be a waste of time when you could be studying for another class or getting done with another project or assignment. Then put that at the bottom of your list. Put studying for this test or whatever at the bottom of your list after all of your homework, other studying, other assignments, whatever. Because at the end of the day, you have to prioritize. Along with studying, what are you going to study? Your notes. Please take notes. Even if you're not going to study them, writing them down always helps your brain remember things. And that's maybe the reason that you don't study, because you took notes and those notes helped you remember. When you take notes in class, you're just like drilling the information into your brain. Whereas if you didn't take notes, you're most likely also going to like daydream, because I know that I do that. If I'm not taking notes and being an active participant in the class, I know I'm gonna zone out. And when I zone out, I don't understand anything about the lesson, especially when it's math class. And then you're literally gonna get a 0 unless you like go to the teacher and ask her to explain the entire lesson all over again. She or he will definitely get mad at, which you don't want to make your teacher mad either, which goes into our next point. Be respectful to your teachers. Teachers are trying their best, even if it seems like they hate their job. That's probably because the kids make it miserable for them. And don't be one of those kids, because those kids, everyone else around them that's trying to get good grades and do good in school is just gonna get mad at you. No one's gonna like you anymore. When you are disrespectful to your teachers, they always are going to be thinking about how disrespectful you are. They're always going to be focused on your behavior. They're not going to be focusing on your grades anymore, because behavior is your #1 problem. When they see a kid who's super respectful but kind of struggles in class, they're always going to be looking for a solution for them. They're always going to be trying to find a way to help them. But for you, even if you're struggling in class, if you're always disrespectful, they're going to always be trying to figure out a way to get you to fall in line and to respect them and to be a decent human being to them. They're not going to be caring about, oh, I wonder if he needs tutoring during lunch or she needs this kind of help. They're always going to be focusing on what's you're struggling with the most, and if that happens to be a behavior, then you're just wasting a tool, which is a teacher who's literally here to help you with your academic success in life. So by taking that for granted and just being disrespectful to them is literally not benefiting you in any way, shape, or form. Now, I know a lot of kids think that it's okay to be disrespectful to their teachers because they're like rebelling from school rules and they're going against what society says they should do, but society's just trying to help you right now. It's middle school and you're gonna have to go to high school even if you drop out or don't want to use your grades to get into a good college or to just live life. You don't have to disrespect a human being to get there, you know? If you wanna not care about your grades, fine. You know, no one can stop you. But your teachers are just trying to help you with your future. So by expressing to them, I'm not trying to use my grades for my future, they'll probably just try and find a way to help you in that sense. But that doesn't mean literally cussing out your teacher, which I have seen happen. Cussing out your teacher or just ignoring them and just being flat out disrespectful to them, because that's not gonna help you at all. They're just gonna hate you and then school's gonna be miserable. Don't sit next to someone in class who's going to distract you. If you don't know if this person's gonna distract you because you don't really know them that well yet, maybe it's the beginning of the year, you don't know this person, you sit next to them, then you guys become friends. Great, but don't talk in class, okay? If they're talking to you, just be like, hey, I'm trying to focus, can we talk after class? Or you don't even have to be that flat up, just start giving them like dry answers. That's what I do. Just start giving them like dry answers to everything, and they'll most likely get bored and stop talking to you, because in class when you're not paying attention, nothing's gonna make sense. I already said this earlier, but I cannot stress enough that nothing is gonna make sense, and most likely another student is not gonna be nice enough to help you throughout the entire assignment that you were just assigned, or help you understand the whole lesson, and the teacher's not going to want to do that either. So really you're relying on yourself in this sense, unless you have like a best friend who's got you with all the notes, everything you need. Great, but still you're not going to understand it the same as if it was explained to you by the teacher whose job is to teach you this material. So just don't slack off in the sense of not taking notes if that helps you, and talking in class. And also, that's disrespectful to the other students who are trying to learn, because they get distracted by you talking, and most likely the teacher's gonna call you out also. So you don't want to get in trouble, you don't want the other kids to think you're disrespectful, and you want to get good grades, so you have to pay attention. So don't talk in class, and don't sit next to someone who's going to distract you in class. If you need tutoring and you have the ability to get tutoring, do it, because tutoring is something that's such a strong tool in my opinion. I tutored kids myself for the last year and a half, and I want to continue doing it because I feel like I was tutored my entire life, my whole elementary school experience I was tutored, and I really needed it, and it helped me so much. I would not be where I am today without tutoring. Seriously, it completely changes how you look at school, because it can be so stressful and so upsetting when you're trying and you're just falling flat because the tools that you're being given during class is not enough for you to understand this or to comprehend it. I personally have a learning disorder, I have visual processing disorder, so it's harder for me to pick up information in a shorter amount of time. So having that to go to after class, after school, and getting this extra help is an amazing tool. So if you have the ability to get tutoring and you need tutoring, definitely do it. The next category is drama. Okay, I have a lot to say about this one because 8th grade was probably my least favorite year of school ever, and I've been going to school since I was 2 years old. So I absolutely hated 8th grade. Yeah, and this is why. The number one rule going into middle school is don't get involved in drama. It is so hard not to, but if you think that it's gonna be easy to stay out of drama because you want to be nice to everyone, it's not that easy, because I went in with that mindset. I went in with the mindset, I'm not gonna get into any drama, I'm just gonna be chill. No, because everyone will drag you into it. If you get into it, which you most likely will at some point or another, Just make sure that you treat everyone with respect and that you are a decent human being to everyone. Everyone has human dignity, even if they don't seemingly deserve it in the moment. Make sure that you are kind to everyone because they will leave you alone. When you fight back, you're only hurting yourself. Every punch you throw, you're also getting hit 20 more times. Yeah, going off of that also, don't fight like physically. Don't get into fights because everyone around you just thinks you look immature anyways. Because literally I have seen probably multiple fights a day every single day of 8th grade. You have 2 kids sitting here literally like throwing weak punches at each other. Even if they're hard punches, like no one cares. Everyone just wants to see drama and entertainment, and you're literally like a dancing monkey to them. You don't look cool for fighting. You don't look brave for fighting. If someone throws the first punch at you and you defend yourself, that's different. But don't start a fight for no reason or because of drama, because it's not going to be worth it. In the end, all that's going to happen is that everyone around you is going to think you look stupid and you're going to get in trouble with the teachers. It's going to go on your permanent record, and if it's bad enough, you could get suspended or expelled, which I've also seen happen. So don't be that person. Now, these are ways that you can get into drama that you should not do. Don't dangle information over people's heads, and don't try to get information out of people. If someone's like, oh, so-and-so has a crush on someone, and everyone knows, but you're the only one who doesn't know, it doesn't matter. No one cares. Like, focus on you, and if they tell you, you find out somehow, then go ahead and react. But also don't overreact, because then that's also going to cause drama. But like, don't try and get information out of people. Don't go up to them like, so who is it? And just like bother them, because that's just obnoxious. Like no one wants that. And then if you have a secret that like someone is trying to get out of you, don't tell them. And don't dangle it either, because like I've seen a lot of people where they're just like, oh, if you tell me this, I'll tell you this, or if you tell me this, I'll do this. Like some people literally get so desperate for information that they'll literally do anything. And then it's literally like, I saw this person like brush hands with another, like it's literally nothing. Just don't get involved in that. Most of the time the secret comes out anyways, and it was literally for nothing. Like most of the time either you'll forget or literally everyone will find out like the next day, so it's not even worth it. And then for starters, don't tell anyone your secrets. I don't care if like it's funny or whatever. Like if it's a secret, it needs to stay with you, because you might think that you're talking to your friends, but tomorrow they might not be your friends anymore, and actually you're mortal enemies. But don't have enemies, love your enemies. But still, it's probably gonna get leaked one way or another. You might think that you're talking to someone who would never say anything, but you never know. Maybe you're getting overheard in the classroom or at recess. Like you never know who's listening or like who's gonna tell who. You never know. Also, things can get brought up from the past a lot. I went to 7th and 8th grade at the same private school, and there was like 20 kids in a grade, which absolutely sucked. So cut off toxic people. If they're toxic, you don't need them. Even if it's either no friends or this horrible person who makes you feel bad all the time, no friends is the option. I don't care if you're gonna spend the next week, month, year by yourself. You have yourself and you have your family and you have friends outside of school. Even if you don't have friends outside of school, go make friends outside of school, because it's not worth just having a toxic relationship with somebody. Because let me tell you, it will mentally drain you and it will hurt you in the long run. Even in the short run, every single day that they're being toxic and making you feel bad about yourself, they're giving you more and more insecurities, and they're just being absolutely bad people. They're chipping away at who you are, and don't let them do that. Cut them off. Even if you're like, oh, well that's mean. No, they're the mean ones. You're just defending yourself. If someone threw a punch at you and you would fight back, same thing. Also, don't post on the internet about drama, okay? Don't. Just leave them alone. Like, okay, it's a little bit extreme to post, but even like blocking them on like social media, like I understand unfollowing them, like that's obvious. Like if you're following them on Instagram or whatever and you guys have a falling out, like unfollowing them, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But don't be like all petty and like go on another account and look at their stuff and then like block them on this and like be all extreme so that you can like stalk them. Like, that's creepy. Just don't do that. It's really weird, okay? And they probably know. You probably think they don't know, but girl, we know. We know. Also, if you post on the internet, just know that's there forever. Someone's probably got it screenshotted somewhere, especially on your stories. Like, I think that people think, oh, it's gonna go away in 24 hours, like whatever. No, there's something called screenshots. People can share your story to other people even if they're not following you. So like, if you're talking trash about someone, most likely they're gonna find out. Don't be that person. Also, if you're posting on anything else that doesn't go away, or like throwing shade like seemingly anonymously, or like not shouting that person out, but we all know like who it's implied towards, they know, and if they throw shade back, that's just as bad. So if someone's talking bad about you on the internet, don't go back and forth with them, because it's not going to end well. Someone talk about me, but I just left it. I honestly just deleted that app and never got back on it because I don't need that. And I took screenshots of it, and I had that because when she tried to turn things around on me, I had evidence, and she just looked dumb. So always, also, yeah, that's a big thing. I didn't even write this one down, but always keep evidence. When something happens, or when someone says something on the internet or somewhere where you can get evidence that it happened, or get alibis from other people that this actually happened, make sure you have that, because if you have someone who witnessed something, have them like tell you and tell other people that they witnessed that. So like, go to other people and be like, hey, this just happened, and then have that person also say, yeah, that happened. Because number one, that person who witnessed it, they might turn around on you too, and they might like in the long run be like, yeah, no, that never happened. But then you can have your backups and be like, wait, you said this happened though, like you were with them and you said, yeah. Make sure you have evidence, and good evidence, even if it's like taking a video and being like, just for your camera roll, and being like, hey, me and this person just witnessed that, and then have that person in the video be like, yeah, we just witnessed that, whatever, this just happened, and then save that video. Don't post it anywhere, keep that for yourself, and so if anything ever happens, you've got evidence. And take screenshots of things. If someone texts you something and it's like, oh my gosh, like this person's being so whatever, or something's going on and you don't want to be involved in drama, or the drama involves you, make sure you have evidence, because someone could turn it around on you. Oh, I wasn't talking bad about you, this person was. And then you're gonna be like, yeah, that's a lie. Especially if it's like on Instagram, because they have like vanishing mode now. It's like, I've had that happen too. They put it on vanishing mode and thought that they could erase it, but I had the receipts and it didn't work. So yeah. Now we're going to be turning to the social aspect of middle school. Okay, don't pretend to know things that you don't know, because you're gonna look stupid. And even if you get away with it, you're gonna feel guilty about it. I used to do this all the time when I was younger, like elementary school to like early middle school. I did this all the time. If someone was like, oh yeah, I'm watching this like really fun show and it's really cool, and I've like seen my mom put it on the TV for 2 seconds before, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that show too. And then they're like, oh really? Did you see this part and this part? I'm like, yeah, don't do that. It's stupid. Also because they might bring something up later on and like, oh, so you've seen this show, and you're like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have lied about that. Either you're gonna get caught in the lie or just look stupid or feel stupid. Just don't do it. Don't judge other people, okay? Even in your head, there's no point, because the only thing you're doing is you're taking your own insecurities and you're reflecting them onto other people. You're like, oh, I have this wrong about me. Does this person have this wrong about them? That's all that you're looking at, okay? Don't do it, and especially do not voice it, because when you're talking bad about other people, they're gonna find out and they're gonna hate you, and then you're gonna have someone on your bad side, and you don't want anyone on your bad side in high school, middle school, college, in life. You don't want anyone on your bad side, because in the end you need as many people on your side as possible, so that when something happens, you have a support system. And when something happens, you know that you're a good person, you know? But when you judge people, that's gonna follow you too, especially if you go to a middle school that goes up to high school and you're gonna stay, or even if you're just gonna know these people, they're gonna be like, oh, remember that time when you were talking bad about this person? Or maybe you become friends with that person down the line, and then they're gonna find out that you were always talking bad about them. Like, that's not gonna be fun, and then you're gonna ruin a friendship. So don't talk bad about people, don't judge people, because there's no point, and you're just reflecting your own character in the end. Okay, take this not with a grain of salt. Take this how it is. Don't date in middle school. There is no point. There's no point in dating in middle school. Middle school dating doesn't count, because most of the relationships last a week, and the ones that last longer are toxic, don't mean anything, are out of desperation, or there's the rare one that actually work out. But you, my friend, don't date just because you think a guy is cute, because most likely you're love blind, and during COVID times, after he took off the mask, things weren't as pretty. Or don't date him because, oh, he's nice, he's a decent person, because you're desperate. When you start thinking that way about guys, oh, he's not treating me like I'm a piece of trash on the road, then I should date him. Don't. If you're thinking like that, you've been disrespected in the past, and people usually treat you like trash, and your standards have been lowered. It's time to get them higher, because you are worth more than that. Look at guys how you would look at them if they were for sale. Let's take that. Look at guys as if they were for sale and be like, would I spend my money on this guy? Because time is money. And if you're gonna take the time to obsess over him and try to get him to like you, you're gonna go on YouTube, how to get a crush in 2 steps, in 1 day. If you're gonna waste your time doing that, which we've all been there, make sure that he's worth it, because if he's not, then you're gonna find out too late. You're gonna have already gone through the whole process and dated him, and then regretted it for the rest of your life, or the rest of the year, because most likely you're gonna forget about him in a year anyways. Don't make the mistake. And plus, even if everyone's like, oh my gosh, you never dated anyone, that's so lame, like you're so not cool. Like, okay, so what if I want to spend time on myself? Like, I'm sorry that you need validation from this loser who goes around talking bad about other girls and calling them horrible things and literally being destructive, but I don't need validation. So, I mean, just the word cool upsets me. I don't understand what is the definition of cool in like the terms that we use it in, because we use it as like kind of like a slang, like, oh, they're so cool, that's so cool, oh my gosh, so cool. Like, what? It's so cool to do drugs and alcohol and to have a boyfriend when you're literally 12 years old or 11 years old. Some people go into middle school as 10-year-olds, and you guys are trying to get boyfriends? That's crazy. He's a middle school boy at the end of the day. They're immature. If you're a boy watching this, listen. I don't speak for all boys, but I speak for most boys. Don't be that boy, because if you're that boy, I don't appreciate you. Please don't be that boy who disrespects their teachers, is rude to females, thinks that they're the alpha mega boss. Don't be that boy. Don't be desperate for friends. Like, there's being desperate for a boyfriend, but being desperate for friends is honestly the same thing. Like, the kind of what I was talking about with cutting off toxic people. Like, don't be desperate to make a friend just because you want friends, because at the end of the day, you're gonna start seeing the red flags once you're in the friendship if you didn't pay attention at the beginning. Because what I usually do is I go right into a friendship, someone says hi to me, boom, we're friends, hey, and then as we're into the friendship, I'm like, wow, I'm really regretting this, and then it's too late. or else you'll have to go through the whole friendship breakup process, which if they really aren't too bad of a person to feel like, oh, I need to get out of this, but you're just starting to see red flags, it's gonna be like, oh shoot, I can't just be like, hey, for no reason, I just don't want to be your friend anymore. You have to kind of be like, distance yourself, and that's just a waste of time also. And you don't want to waste time, because time is precious. When looking to have a friend, notice how someone treats other people, because how they treat others is how they're gonna treat you in a sense. If they are a bully to all the weird kids, which, don't call people weird, honestly it's just a compliment to most people who are confident, but to those people who are quiet and like considered an outcast or a weird kid, literally be nice to them. What did they ever do to you? If they're just sitting there minding their own business, literally just leave them alone. I was considered a weird kid most of my life. I take it as a compliment, like, thank you for calling me different from all of you basic people. Like, there's no point in calling someone weird. It just means you're not creative and you can't come up with a better insult than you're weird. Like, what are you, 5? Okay, anyways, don't be friends with a person who goes around calling people dorks and nerds and weird just because they're smart or different from everyone else. That's a horrible person, because at the end of the day, when you become friends with them, they're just gonna start pointing out all these things about you, and they're gonna be like, oh, you're weird for that. Oh, you shouldn't do that because no one else does it. That's not cool. That's gonna be the type of person that you're becoming friends with if you fall into that. So look for red flags before the friendship starts, and don't be desperate to be friends with someone. If you see someone who's like, oh, I want to be their friend, which happens sometimes. Sometimes you see someone and like, oh, that looks like a genuinely nice person. Don't be desperate. Don't like, oh my gosh, hey, do you want to be best friends? Like, don't do that. Like that slid when we were like younger elementary school. But now just find a common interest. Oh, they like reading also. And then just be like, hey, I've noticed you hang out in the library a lot. Do you like to read? Just start a conversation. Simple. Maybe not simple, because I know that if you're like antisocial and you just want them to come up to you, I waited 2 years for that to happen at a certain class. Never happened. Still don't have any friends in that class. I'm still in that class. Don't have any friends there. Don't wait for them to come up to you. Go up to them. If it's been like a week or more, they're not gonna come up to you most likely for like a long time. Just speed up the process and go up to them. Now I say that like it's the simplest thing ever, and I know I would never do that most likely. Maybe find someone that you're mutual with and try to get them to talk to them for you and like introduce you to them, or just find a reason to bump into them. Like, if you take a deep breath. This is what I do, okay? This is how I get myself into social situations, because I am very antisocial, like introverted, don't like to go out. Someone who you want to become friends with, like walking in the hall or standing in line somewhere and you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to go and talk to them, but I am way too scared to. Do this, okay? I want you to stand with your feet pointing in the direction you're gonna walk to go talk to them. I want you to take a deep breath, close your eyes, think of nothing, absolutely nothing. Well, actually first, picture what you're gonna say. So say, like rehearse it for like 5 seconds. Be like, I'm gonna say, hi, how was your weekend? Are you in this class? Because I thought I recognized you. And then just let the conversation flow from there. Don't picture it, just like leave it at that. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and walk to them, because once you get to them, it's gonna be way more awkward to turn back around than to just talk to them. And then you're gonna go over to them and you're gonna be like, hi, how was your weekend? Are you in this class? You look familiar. And then just let the conversation flow from there, because that's the only way it's gonna work. Don't ditch nice people for people who are popular or cool, because I have seen it happen so many times when people are friends with a decent person, they have a good friendship, but then they just ditch them for other people because they're more popular or have something that they want. Don't trade in a good person for something tangible, because that is not going to last. A friendship that is strong, that's gold. don't throw that away for anything or anyone who's toxic or anyone who is less of a good person. Like, if you find someone else who's a good person, also don't throw away that other person, because that makes you the bad person. You can have multiple friends. You don't have to have one friend. And you don't have to have a friend group. It's okay to just have one friend. Like, friend groups are overrated, honestly. Like, honestly, they don't even work out most of the time. Most of the time, it just ends up with 2 people left. So there's no point in having friend groups if you want a friendship that's gonna last. Friend groups are just people who you can talk to for that year or that month. Honestly, they don't last. Don't be influenced to do anything, because no one has your best interest in mind. Keep that as your mindset. No one has my best interest in mind. That's kind of a sad way to look at it, but it's literally the truth. Because if someone's trying to influence you to do drugs or smoke or be cool in getting in a relationship with this person or doing something you're not comfortable with doing, don't do it. Trust your gut always, because no one is telling you to do these things that you know in your gut are harmful if they had your best interest in mind. They have their own best interest in mind, and you never know what their true intention is. So don't listen to them. If your gut's telling you to do something else, don't listen to them. That also goes along with food. I'm sorry, but don't ask someone for their lunch or don't ask someone for food. If they have like one little thing and you have like nothing, don't ask them for their food, because they need to eat too. Most of the time, if you go to the cafeteria and tell them, hey, I have no lunch, they will give you like a little thing for free. Most of the time at most schools. Or if you go like up to your homeroom classroom, they will most likely give you like a bag of crackers or something. And if someone has like a little thing left from their lunch, I mean, there's no harm in asking if they're like not eating it, but don't be like, okay, give me your lunch. Don't let people step all over you, and don't like give them your lunch just because. Be like, no, I need to eat. Like, it's your food, your family, or you paid for it. Like, don't let them take that from you. That's your lunch, and you need food to function. Now, I understand like not eating a lot of food if you don't like to eat a lot of food, but eat something, drink water. I didn't eat or drink my entire middle school year because either someone was taking it from me or I just didn't like to eat at school. I thought it was embarrassing to eat at school. Everyone else is eating and they're fine. Literally, you're fine. Eat. And don't take food from other people, because there's gonna be that person who's like, oh, do you want this or do you want that? Most of the time they're not being nice. Most of the time they're playing prank on you, or they want to get your reaction to something. Because I've seen so many times at my own table with my own friends, somebody like, oh my gosh, we should put mustard in this Oreo and give it to them. Like, that's just disgusting. And also, you don't know where that food's been. That's been at their house, or it's some processed meal that you don't know what's in it and it's not your food. So just don't trust it. I've only taken food from someone like once, and it still didn't end well. They literally just wanted to see how I ate something, and then they made fun of me for the way I ate it. Just don't take food from people. It's literally, if you have food and they're not offering you food because they see that you don't have anything, which is genuinely nice, which also don't really trust that. Make sure that you check the food. Like, don't just like start eating it all. Like, check each piece of food before you eat it, because you never know. And if someone's just giving you food and you have your own food, don't accept it. Especially if you don't want it. Don't take it. Like, they could give it to someone else. So yeah, and if they're insisting, like, no, take it. Don't take it. There's something in it, or there's something wrong with it, or they want to do something. Don't trust that. When they are being insistent about it, be insistent on no. Okay, follow the rules. So like, a big rule in my school was no phones. And if that's the rule, then follow the rules. Because you're gonna get caught and you're gonna go to the principal's office, or the teacher's gonna talk with you, and then the whole class is gonna make fun of you because you didn't follow the rules. And you're not cool for being a rule breaker also. That's not a cool thing. That's literally just stupid. You're getting yourself in trouble for nothing. Like, what's the difference from if you were to do it and if you were to not to do it? If you were not to do it, then you would have a clean record you would have good grades and you would not be in trouble. And if you did do it, you'd be in trouble, a not clean record, and people would make fun of you. So which one you choosing? Like, let's choose to follow the rules. And especially with the phones rule, what are you doing on your phone? Scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Like, no, you're at school. It's time to learn and to not rot your brain with this thing. Like, why don't we put it down for a second? It's just, you're just feeding into your addiction at that point. It's like, phones are a serious problem if you have an addiction to it. So by putting it down for just a little bit, it's gonna be okay. You're fixing the problem. And you literally have someone holding you accountable for it. It's like a personal habit tracker. And the habit is to not be on your phone 24/7. So listen to your school if they're telling you not to be on your phone. Because also it can be really awkward. Like, I had an incident where I never broke the rules, as in using my phone at school. I've probably broken the rules before, but like, it was never anything serious. And also, I never used my phone at school because this phone, it's obviously not like the best quality phone. Like, I'm really grateful to have a phone, but I can't do anything on this phone. I can't download apps or anything, so I don't have anything to do on this phone except for take pictures. And so if I wanted to call my mom or my dad, or no, if I wanted to call my dad, I would use my mom's phone because she worked downstairs at my school. And so I would go downstairs to her classroom and I would call my dad. This happened one time, okay? One time I was feeling really sick, like, not, okay, this is kind of, okay, we're gonna have a story time. So one day, it was like almost the end of the school year, and I was sick of everyone. I didn't have any real friends at this point. My only real friend is my cousin, but she lives in another country. So I had no friends at school, okay? Absolutely hated everyone. I was fed up with everyone. Like, Siri just activated. I was like having a rough year. And then this day I was just like so done with everyone and everything. And I was like not about to go back up to that classroom after lunch to literally like sit there and listen. And I knew I could catch up on this lesson because it was an easy 2 classes left of the day. But I was like, no, I am not doing that. I'm not spending another second with these people. So I went to my mom's room that she works in at the school. And I was like, hey, I have a headache, because I did have a headache. I had a migraine from these people. And I was like, I need to go home. And pretty much I just explained it to her. And then she gave me her phone. I called my dad and he came to pick me up, right? And so I go back upstairs after lunch and they go on the announcement and said that I needed to go down to the office because my dad was there. But I wasn't in the classroom when they said that. I was still walking up the stairs. But everyone else was already in the classroom because I had to go do something else for the office. That's a whole other story. But yeah, so I came back up and my teacher comes out. And apparently on the speaker, they had said, yeah, she has to go home. But she was using her phone to call her dad during class. They snitched on me. And I wasn't even doing that. So my teacher, she was the nicest teacher ever. I miss her already. And she was just like, hey, so you're going home, but the school rules is you can't be on your phone. And I was like, oh no, I wasn't on my phone. Like, I went to my mom's classroom and she's like, oh my gosh, okay. And then like my mom emailed her after just to clarify that I wasn't using my phone. But like, you don't want to be in that situation either, because what if I was using my phone? That would be so awkward. And she just was like the nicest teacher and came up to me like, so you can't be on your phone, and then you just be like, that's just not a fun situation, so just follow the rules and don't be on your phone. Okay, now we're going to get into the self-care category. Number one thing that I honestly don't really wish that I did, but I didn't do, which I probably should have done, is go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Because I used to have such a good sleep schedule. I would go to sleep at like 9 o'clock and wake up at like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. every single day, and it was so good. And then I just stopped sleeping. Like somewhere in 7th grade, it just clicked in my head like, I don't have to go to sleep right now. And then I wouldn't, and I would just be up all night like doing random things, just like watching YouTube and stuff. I was just like, Like, why? Just go to sleep, and then I'd wake up the next day and it would be so difficult to get out of bed, and I had to rush, and I had to eat breakfast in the car, and it's just not fun, you know, especially if you have like free dress at school. Like, you don't have well, if you have a dress code, but like you can wear whatever you want every day. Like, I cannot imagine if I would have had to pick out my outfit every single day in the morning. Like, I would have looked like a rat every day. I did look like a rat every day, but like I would have looked literally homeless every single day. So yeah, just go to sleep so that you can wake up early, get a sleep schedule, because you're going to regret it. And now I'm going into high school. I don't even know how I'm gonna do this. Like, pray for me, because like I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I need to fix this over the summer, because like it's summer now and I wake up at like 10 a.m. every day and go to sleep at like 2 a.m. every day. It's not great. Today I actually fixed that. I went to sleep at 11 yesterday and I woke up at 7. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. So yeah, get a sleep schedule, go to sleep. Just, that's kind of obvious, but like please do that, because other people are gonna be like, oh, do you want to pull an all-nighter tonight? If it's a school night, don't do it. Don't do it. I pulled so many all-nighters. Oh my gosh, either for school, like if it's for school, then like just do it. Like, it's detrimental to your health, but so are grades, so it's fine. Yeah. Also, a grade does not define your worth. Like, just because you got a bad grade, okay, I'm saying this, but I let it define my worth. But don't be me, once again. Like, don't let it define your worth, because you are worth more than a letter. Now, take these next few words very seriously. Take care of your hygiene, because, oh my gosh, I cannot tell you. Okay, this one, I'm sorry boys, but I'm targeting you. Okay, the girls in my class were fine, but the boys, y'all always smell dank. Don't do that. Don't be the one who stinks up the entire classroom and everyone's like got their nose under their shirt trying to get away from the smell, okay? And when we have to sit next to you, we all want to throw up, okay? Buy deodorant, cologne, or perfume, like, please. And also, don't go, like, especially the girls, don't go crazy with the freaking perfume from Bath & Body Works, okay? Because y'all be spraying that thing everywhere. Like, chill. Put down the gun. Chill out. Like, y'all just be going crazy, and then the second that you step into a room, everyone knows who's there. We all know that it's you, and we all know why we know. So if you're gonna wear perfume, thank God. It's okay, I will say it's better than smelling like sweat, but don't go crazy. Just take care of yourself, okay? And if you have like gym in the middle of the day, which sucks, I had that. If you want to, bring a change of clothes. Like, if you get really sweaty or you like do a lot in PE and it's like sunny, oh my gosh, it sucks when you have to like run a mile and it's like beating hot outside. Like, at that point, it's not even your fault. So bring deodorant, bring a change of clothes if you need that. Like, you can bring a change of clothes and change before PE and then change back after, or you can literally just like do PE and whatever you came to school in and then change after that. Whatever you want to do, if you want to do that, that's great. Just please don't be the one stinking up the whole classroom. And shower. Please shower every day. For girls, obviously not everyone has to wash their hair every day, or else you'll dry out all your natural oils. But if you want to wash your hair every day, don't listen to all the people who say, oh my gosh, you wash your hair every day? Oh my gosh, that's so bad. No. If it's okay for your hair, because like my hair, I can wash it every single day and it won't dry out. Y'all probably like in the comments like, girl, your hair is so dry. No, it's not, okay? It's healthy. But don't listen to them. If you need to wash your hair every day so that it doesn't smell horrible, so wash your hair every day. If you get super oily hair, wash your hair every day. And if you don't need to wash your hair every day without it being like horrendous or anything, and you can clean it without having to wash your hair, that's fine. But shower every day. You need to wash your body every single day, especially if you had PE that day or you were running around that day, whatever, playing at reset. Just shower. Just shower, especially because you're gonna have deodorant buildup, and that's just not gonna be fun. It's gonna make things worse. Please just don't be my classmates. and take showers. Thank you. Don't let people's opinions get to you, because there's gonna be so many opinions and there's gonna be so many people who are judging you. Everyone says in these videos like, oh my gosh, no one's judging you, just like don't overthink. No, everyone's judging you. Everyone's talking about you. Everyone's saying, oh my gosh, this person did this person's so weird, this person's so that. Don't let those opinions get to you though, because at the end of the day, there's gonna be that one person who's got family issues or who's just a mean person, an entitled brat, and is gonna talk about you. And you know what you're gonna say to them? You're gonna say, get a life and get a social life, because you obviously don't have one because you have to talk about me. I heard this one quote and it was like, my name must hold some weight because it's always in your conversations. So like, if you want to talk about me to my face. And if you want to say something negative, you're just reflecting your own character. So don't let other people's opinions get to you, and don't let other people change you, because I feel like in middle school, through the last like 2 years, I completely let people change who I was. Like, I'm still trying to figure out you're in middle school. You're still trying to figure out who you are as a person, and don't let other people determine that for you. Okay, this is your journey, this is your life, and you're not gonna let other people tell you who you are. You're gonna figure out for yourself who you are. And if it takes longer than middle school, if it takes all of high school and all of college, and it takes you 20 years to figure out who you are, go on that journey, because it's your journey and you get to determine how it ends. Don't let other people figure that out for you. Okay, and then the final point that I'm gonna make here is about stress. I dealt with a lot of stress in middle school. I always stressed myself out because I want good grades, which honestly is great that you want good grades and you're willing to go the extra mile for them. But don't let the stress bring you down in every other aspect of your life. Don't let having a lot of work take away from your quality of life. Like, if you are stressing out every single day, don't just be like, oh, well, I'm strong so I can deal with it. Because sometimes dealing with it is weak, honestly, because that just means you can't find another solution. Like, I went through so much stress to get like 1A, and the A was literally like 0.2% of the grade. At the end of the day, you need to prioritize in life, in school, in friends. You need to prioritize in everything, and your health, mental and physical, should be one of the top ones, okay? So when you're stressing out, think, why am I stressed out? If it's because you have a deadline that's super close to when you started working on it, think, next time I'm going to change this. Next time I'm going to start my assignments earlier. Always look for what you can change when you're feeling something negative. Never look for a way to just cope with it. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to cope, you want to thrive. So think about your thriving abilities, not your coping skills. That's what my teacher used to say. So that's it for this video. I hope these tips helped you, and I can't wait for you to go to middle school. You're gonna have a lot of fun, hopefully, as long as you stay out of drama and are a decent person all around. Just be a good person to everyone. Treat everyone with human dignity, even if they don't seem like they deserve it at the moment. Everyone does, because everyone is equal. And yeah, so just stay happy and stay positive. You will get through it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.